Howdy y'all. If you have watched my older videos, and you know that when it comes to art and drawing, I have come a long way. My drawings look significantly better than they did when I first started out. The fingers on characters don't look like deformed knives anymore. A lot of line art issues have been resolved, the eyes look a little better, etc. So, since I've come so far, the official way I drew entry point characters, which whenever I'm drawing someone from an outside media that already has a design, I draw a design of them in my own art style so I can get a feel of how they're drawn. The designs that I've made are the little sprites that have shown up in the Joe videos. But I made those a long time ago when I was first starting out, and a lot of them haven't aged very well. They still look nice, but they could look better and more modernized in my current art style. Plus, a lot of the characters' designs have actually changed over time, and I've had a few design flaws with these characters, mostly because I didn't see something when drawing it, when translating the design to my art style first, and it's a detail that was missed entirely. So I decided to go back and not only redesign entry point characters so they look more like my current art style, but also give them design updates. Some of them look exactly the same, just modernized. Others have had quite a few design changes, and I wanted to share them with y'all. So let's go. Of course, as always, we're going to be doing this in alphabetical order. First up is the director. I got his clothes spot on, but I was really bad at drawing his hair at the time, and I just kind of came up with this crappy spiky version that I never really liked. So now he has new hair, one that's more accurate to the hair he has in game, and it makes him look slicker and a bit more fancy and uptight like he actually is. Also, his beard is slightly edited to give him a little bit more of a personality, and making it more accurate to the game. I used to give all the bearded characters the same beard, which was fine, it worked, but it could be unique, could look better. Speaking of beards, Dimitri is essentially exactly the same, except for a beard edit and also, just touched up his hair a little bit. I know his hair doesn't look that accurate to how it is in game. It's a little bit more, I guess, mopey. It's a little softer than his in-game art style, and this was largely because, at the time, I didn't have the skill level to properly reenact that hair, and that was the best I could do. So technically now I could have fixed that and made it more accurate to his hair in the game, but I've actually going to attach to the other hair over time, and so I'm going to keep it like that. Creative liberties. Falcon is pretty much the same situation as the director. At the time, I didn't have the skill level to properly redraw the Charmer hair, and I had no idea how to manage it, and that was the best I could do. This hair looks a lot better, and again, is more accurate, so I definitely like it a lot more. There's also been a slight design change with his clothes. His shoes are different, and if you look at the sleeves and the pants, then there's a little bit of a camo pattern, but it's not that noticeable, because if you look at his design, you look it up, you can see closely he has a camo pattern on his sleeves and pants, but they also don't really stick out that much. So I tried to reenact it the same way by just making it all the same color. I know the freelancer doesn't have a canon design. I've just been using one I made myself so I can actually draw the freelancer and not just give him a boring, faceless, random, generic thing. But I actually didn't like this design for a while. Well, I liked it at first, but after a while, I didn't like how generic the clothes were. Black and gray hoodie is something that anyone could come up with and any generic person wears. So I wanted to update him with something that looked a little bit better than that. This is probably one of the bigger redesigns since it's a complete clothing overhaul. I added more touches of blue and gold to make the colors pop, and I really like how this one turned out because they still resemble their original design, but it looks different and it looks better, more vibrant, more unique. This is something that someone won't really be able to copy by accident. The change of the Rose appearing on their clothing after Rose dies as tribute still exists. Harvey is very different. His design is mostly still the same, just with his shoes and some hair differences. But unlike a lot of the other designs, I redrew his base entirely. I first drew Harvey when I first found out about his existence, which was before the Freelance Heist was released, and I had actually thought that his personality was a little bit more smug and kind of pathetic, and trying to convince you of obvious lies, which is what influenced the pose of his original design. Of course, now that we know that that personality guess was pretty much wrong, that pose isn't very fitting for how he is, so that was changed to be a little bit more like the manipulative, serious, anxious man he is. Hemlock is pretty much exactly the same, just with some color differences with his shirt and the beard is slightly edited. Still didn't add the gap, he looks better without it. Jackdaw, on the other hand, has some very notable differences. His shirt and pants have been slightly edited, going over details that were missed when I originally drew his design. And there's also two of what I would consider the biggest new contributions. First of all, there's scars all over his arms, which I don't know if you noticed, but he has those in-game. I don't remember if I either didn't notice those at first, probably that because his official design when you look it up doesn't have the scars for some reason, or I just wasn't sure if those were scars or veins for being so messily. I really hope it's scars, because if that's how his veins look, then I'm very concerned about this man's blood pressure. It's probably from getting angry so often. And he also has a little scarf thing. I didn't notice this at all when I first drew him, largely because it isn't 3D, but if you look at his neck area, it's there. He has the little scarf on. Bunpunk always drew jacked off the scarf, and I thought that was just a creative liberty, but no, that's actually part of the design. I think I probably like this redesign the best, or at least probably one of the best, because it just gives him a little bit more flair. He still looks messy, but he definitely looks better. He didn't lose his ruggedness. He looks really good. Though he's probably going to be the hardest to draw now. Just look at all those lines. Actually, I take that back, Falcon. Falcon will always be the hardest to draw. At first glance, Jade looks pretty much exactly the same, but her shorts have been slightly edited along with her stockings and her boots. Her boots have been made to be more knee level, obviously not covering the knee. If you have shoes that cover your knees, then you have very flexible shoes, or you live in constant agony. But yeah, that and some coloring differences, that's about it with her. I take it back about Harvey being the most different design. I think that honor actually goes to Nightshade. Her head base was redrawn, and so was her hair. Her hair was given a big redrawn, make it look different, more accurate to the style in game, and also to make it a little bit more different from Sparrow. And initially, to make her look different from Sparrow, I made her hair lie flat more, make it a bit more mild than hers. But I feel like that takes away from Nightshade's personality and her look, so I went with a different direction with her hair. Her outfit also has plenty of changes and largely recolored. The colors are still pretty similar, but different nonetheless. Her boots and pants are slightly different, and I definitely like her new hair a lot more than her old hair. Rivera literally changed, like, not at all, just redrawn in my modernized art style. Rose was one of the very first characters I ever designed, so the biggest difference from her, right, comparing her to the old one to the new one, is the big art style change. But other than that, there aren't that many differences. Her jacket and boots have gotten slight updates, and her pants and shirt are now a different color. Well, they're still black, just different tones of black. Her hair was also slightly fitted differently, so it can match the way I draw her now. I could have used this chance to make her hair look more accurate to how it is in the game, which is a lot more mild and lying flat than this, but I actually really like this monkey hair, even though it's not that accurate to in video game her. I think it suits her a lot more. Adds to her personality. I really, really like Ryan's redesign. His outfit is literally exactly the same. The only difference is slightly different expression in his hair, but I really love how he looks with the new hair. It just makes him look so much better, and I'm glad that I'm now able to draw the Charmer hair better than I was able to before. Makes him feel more well-dressed because he actually looks better. The 3 points on the Charmer hair trio did its job, but didn't really look that great like I said before. It definitely helps Falcon and Ryan look a lot better, and soon you'll see Ren too. Sparrow got a big redesign. I actually switched to the new outfit sooner than this, like I've already drawn her in the new outfit. But I decided to show just how far I come from the first time drawing her. I decided to use the old design for size. So when I first drew Sparrow, she was using a free outfit, an outfit that already existed on Roblox. She didn't have her own customized outfit yet, but Bunpunk later added one. Well, drew one, Sish added it. That isn't even the very first example of her design either. Her hair used to look different, but I changed that. And I unfortunately don't have access to the first design anymore. I deleted that a long time ago, so we can't exactly compare. But yeah, new updated outfit and new updated art style. Ren has some very minor outfit changes, but of course the biggest difference, like I said, is his hair. It's more updated. I already went over the Charmer hair stuff, but yeah, it boosts his look far more. So yeah, that was all the redesigns. I would like to hear if, the redesigns look better, if the redesigns look worse, which ones you like the best, which ones you were going to miss the most, and so on. But these are going to be how I'm drawing the characters from now on. See y'all.